cleaners. I think they could be called sanitation people or janitorial staff, whatever. You know, every time I take on a school admin role, I like to ask how the cleaners like to be addressed because they get very sensitive. So when you give them a little hype in the title, it kind of boosts their ego, you know. So like that today, do you understand? I don't like to call them, I've never called them cleaners. There's always a name for them. You tell them the sanitation team, janitorial staff, they like janitorial staff. Even if they don't know the meaning, you just, you know, put some hype in their steps. You know, are we communicating? All right, so don't go there yet. Well, who else? Who else are the people in ICT? Who else? Minders, caregivers, nannies, storekeepers, right? So let's go now to the next slide. I have news for you. Even as the school administrator, as executive and exalted as your position is, you are a support staff. Hello, somebody. So when we say support staff, everybody's mind goes to cleaners, drivers. Please, even me, executive school administrator, I used to address myself as part of the support team. You are a support staff. Anybody who is not in the classroom is one. So please take note that it's not a stigma to be a support staff. It is actually just a team made up of people who do not work in the classroom. So whether you are the school administrator, school administrative officer. In fact, let me just have a list here. School administrator, admissions officer, office assistants, counselors, nurses, librarians, food service workers like the caterers, the chefs, the stewards, for those who do school lunch, or also have a boarding house where students need to be fed, school accountants, human resource manager, social media manager, cleaners, sanitation, cleaners and sanitation staff, nannies, security staff, groundsmen, bus drivers, maintenance workers, security guards, transportation workers, those are the bus drivers, and the chaperones that go with them. Okay, the boarding house parents, storekeepers, registrars, gardeners, you know, marketers, all of these are actually one. Can you see how numerous the positions are? Okay, let's go on now. Now, from the moment someone enters the school, the behavior and attitude of the support staff can shape their experience of the school. How many of you have ever been to a gate and the first thing you heard was, they never pay also? Anything for your boy, madam? Anything for your boy? Anything for your boy has chased people away from schools. And when schools are training, they focus on training and classroom management. 21st century skills for educators. How to run a 21st century school, and the man at the gate that is your first contact has never been trained. Every time I do a customer service training, I tell the whole school to shut down, that I need to meet everyone. I recall a school in Calabar I trained on customer service, and the gate men came to me to say thank you. That all of these things they had never been told. They were just told to come and wear uniforms and stand at the gate. Whether their mouths were smelling while they spoke to parents, or whether they had a stinky attitude apart from their smelling mouth, nobody cared. So everything happening at the gate that can chase people away is not even some people's business. They are busy focusing on the teachers who can read and even develop themselves. And the ones who need the most help in a school do not get it. All they do is just sew uniforms and tell them stay at the gate, be opening the gate, as if that's all there is to being a security guard. There is so much more. Okay? So anything for your boy may be happening in your school and you do not know. And you're wondering why parents are not coming. And you know some schools even pray. They will gather people every Thursday. Pray for new students. Pray in Jesus' name. Everybody fast. Pray. And then the person chasing them away is doing anything for your boy at your gate. And you're busy praying. Please stop with some of the prayers and address all the issues in your school at every touch point. They will do you far more than prayer. I don't even know about prayer. That's another topic for another day. We'll address that issue. Okay? So, at the gate man should have a job description. Okay? Let's move on. Because I'll get to the gate man because it's a very sensitive issue. I'll dedicate an entire, maybe like 5 minutes to talk about this important topic. So let's look at the management team, who of course are also part of the support team, like I said. School administrator, the principal, head of school, head teacher, human resource manager, school leadership team basically. So they provide managerial roles and functions and are involved in the strategic planning and also the daily operations of the school. They create and maintain the school culture and provide leadership for the school. You know, a lot of the toxicity that happens in school starts from the top. The grapevine, the madam that will come, anybody who does not greet madam belongs to one group. And the ones that greet belong to another. How many of you have been in such settings? As they are coming, an entourage has to be following them to carry handbag. If you have never carried handbag for madam, you are against madam. How many of you have worked in such? If you don't gossip to madam, you are on another side. But you know, all of these things tell impact on the system. And so what happens at the top actually does what trickles to everybody. So if you see a school where there's a lot of toxicity, watch the management. If the culture is toxic, watch the people at the top. Okay? In all of the schools I've worked, one thing that they will always say is Nancy and gossip. No, you can't gossip your way into my life. I have to see your performance, and there are parameters for me to measure. So if you like, carry my handbag from morning till night. It doesn't work for you. Call it work, man. Okay, so they provide leadership. They decide the kind of culture that is in a school. If you get into a school where there's team spirit, where people are trained, where professionalism is emphasized, know that the top is emphasizing that. And if they do not care, I've been to a school. In fact, I was interviewed once in a school, and the people who brought the paper for us to do the test was wearing bathroom slippers. I just nicely told them that this couldn't be a place that I'll be an administrator. It just will not work. Unless I was going to have a total overhaul of the system. You know, so if the human resource manager was there, school administrator, then a staff member walked in flip-flops, then there's a problem with leadership. I don't need anybody to tell me stories. Okay, all right. So the administrative staff include the school admissions officer, administrative officer, front desk officer, the secretary, the registrar, the human resource manager, and all of that. These are really the backbone of the school operations. Remember, you have the leadership team, and then you have those who are involved with the day-to-day operations. So a school administrator's role basically is strategic and also operational. And there's a difference between a school administrative officer and a school administrator. Because some people usually ask, what's even the difference? So we can just call the whole head of the school the administrative officer. No. The school administrator role is very strategic. It's a top management level, while the administrative officer is a mid-level position that is involved mainly with operations. Okay? So the administrative staff form the backbone of the school operations. They are involved in recruitment, staff welfare, coordination, planning, supervision, and a whole lot of things. Scheduling, you know, student registration, records management. How many of you have ever been to a school and they were just running helter-skelter looking for documents? What was your response? Or any organization at all, not even a school? Like, where did you keep that for? Then you'll be whispering to one another as if you will not know what's going on. You know, they will use the file last. Please, check now. Check. It's not. Then they say, I will get back to you. Because they've told you smile in customer service. It does not mean you should be inefficient, okay? To cover up for smiles, use smiles to cover up for inefficiency. So record keeping is a very key thing. In fact, I have a YouTube video addressing record. It's free. You can even watch it when you're done with this session. Make sure you do. Okay? Let's have the next one. So the administrative staff play a crucial role in building relationship with parents and the wider community, and serving as critical liaisons between the school and external stakeholders. They are involved in planning and coordination and the exact execution of plans, and they work to ensure that there are enough qualified staff to do the job. How many of you have ever been, you know, if you're in a school where there's no coordination, it doesn't take more than 5 minutes to know. Someone has room A is meant for ballet. Another one will say, no, we are the ones who should be here. The moment teachers are fighting over who should use what space, know that there's a problem with administration. Am I communicating? No, ice room, the room raspberry, this one, that. No, that's where we should be. No, this club should not have had their meeting here. The moment there's such a thing, no, there's problem with coordination, with scheduling, and it's all administrative. Okay? And everything that happens in administration impacts on the teachers. You know that even putting the right teacher in the right class is an administrative duty. Knowing who to schedule, who to take early years, and who to move from early years to primary, and who to move from primary to secondary. They're all administrative things. So it means that if the administrator decides to carry the economics teacher and say go to early years, there's nobody, just go. And the energy he should be using for what he was trained for and to enjoy doing it, what he's been doing over the years, he's now wasting, and you now carry somebody who is your favorite person and request to be in that class, then we will be having the age we are talking about. It means that even the administration plays a role in the age that you celebrate. Because even taking decisions about who should be in a class, who shouldn't be there, who should be removed, who should be laid off, who is toxic to the system and should go. And please do not be afraid to lay people off once in a while. Hello? You come to the job of being an administrator. You employ and you fire when it's necessary. But don't fire when it's not necessary. Let that always be the last resort, okay? Alright, so let's go on. The security staff, this was where I said I was going to pitch a little tent. So I talked about anything for your boy. Do you know that some security staff sell admission forms of other schools at their gate stand? And they are paid for it. And they'll be smiling, and when you come, they'll open the gate. Good morning, madam. God bless you. When their own salaries or when they are grieved with the system, they can do a lot. Are you aware? Even some thefts that happen in the school have to happen with the support of the security. Let me tell you a story in a school. A school had their foodstuff getting, you know how foodstuff should be. You have already tried and you've estimated how much the boarding students will eat per week. And suddenly things are just going down. What's going on? You ask the security. Nobody carry food past you, madam. Especially when there are no cameras, no surveillance cameras to tell you what's going on in such food. It gets dangerous because you won't even know. Guess what? The caterer and the security man were having an affair. The security man was eating chop belly full from the children's food. Apart from that, they will make a pot of stew and give him to take home. When the love entered the woman's brain, she took another turn. I was now getting the students, because if you're an administrator, you know that after a while you can project, unless there's a drastic increase in price, you can at least project what and what. So they were able to find out, and after much interrogation, they got to know that yams were disappearing from the store, tomatoes will disappear. They will make a whole pot of stew for the boyfriend, who is the security man. So you see these people, what does that impact on the school? That's your finance going. But we do not think that a security man can have a direct impact on the finances of a school. Have you ever thought about that? Can you link every role is important? As he's stealing the food, what does the food represent? Money. So now you have to spend to replace that which was stolen. But who connived? The gate man that you usually ignore, that you didn't train, that you only got a uniform and you just stay there, in the statue uniform and be closing and opening gate. But a whole lot more is happening. Are you getting me? There's a school I consult for in Abuja, and on my first visit, I told them everything in the school was beautiful, but I had concerns with their security. And we had to start a training program for them. The last time I visited, I was wow. They checked up to my handbag, everything, because they were now more thorough and more aware of their role. But who knows how many books would have got lost from that school library before I stepped in? Do you know how many books get lost from a library in a year? You'll be shocked. You'll be very surprised. How many things in your classroom can just disappear? How many packs of pens from your store can move through the gate without the gate man checking? Because this is my body, this is my paddy, A whole lot. So they never ignore the gate man. Never ignore the gate men. Train them. Give them a job description. And very importantly, have customer service trainings with them. And talk to them about etiquette. Because they come in contact with your parents. And let me tell you, a lot of highbrow parents can even lose students at the point of, a lot of highbrow schools can lose students at the point of the gate. Because they will start to wonder, if I'm paying this much and the security man is behaving this bad, it means he's not trained. Probably the school is not using the funds effectively. Because that's the first impression, not the front desk. The first impression is the gate. We always say that the front desk officer is the first impression. That's not true. It is actually the gate man. If every day parents keep having anything for your boy, anything for you, and you know some parents will not complain to you, they'll just walk away. After they've given a little, another day, maybe the day they don't give you, they don't open the gate, they'll show an attitude, and you don't know what's going on. You'll be here blaming the teachers. Maybe you're not teaching properly, or maybe there's a problem with marketing officer. The ones you have brought will take the back door and be going, because anything for your boy at the gate is chasing them away. Or maybe they even start bad-mouthing the school right from the gate. A gate man that will start with, madam, we never pay. Or maybe they'll bring, to show how they are suffering, they'll bring a bowl of garri with their back and sit there at the gate and be drinking and looking very miserable. So that any visitor who comes to say, yeah, this school must be very wicked to be treating people like this. And do you know what's going on at your gate? Is there drinking and choking garri with groundnut and chasing your parents away because he's not been trained. And he doesn't even know that's bad, because where you picked him from, that's not poor etiquette as far as he's concerned. And because he's never been trained, he doesn't even know he's doing anything wrong. He might not be even doing it intentionally. That's just him. And so you need to take the bushman out of him and make a staff. Create an employee out of them. Are you getting me? Because they come with their very uncouth manners. And you need to do everything you can to refine them as much as you can to fit into your system. If not, they'll start chasing people right at the gate before they even have a chance to meet the front desk officer. They are the first contact. So if they open their mouths, and madam, anything, and the mouth is smelling, overcome all of everything, that's enough to put off anybody, right? So they ensure safety and security of students, the faculty and school property, and this includes security guards, the gate men, and reception staff. You know, reception staff are also partially security staff, because they are the ones that will check whether somebody is wearing the visitor's tag, and that's a security duty. So the front desk officers act as both security staff and pure admin. They serve in two departments, basically. Because they also need to know whether somebody has been authorized wrongly from the gate to enter without your protocol of wearing the visitor's tag or anything. Okay? They patrol around the school, they patrol around the school grounds and buildings. They monitor cameras, and all of that. They manage access to the school, ensuring only authorized individuals enter. They respond to safety concerns or disturbances. On my last job, the security people used to give us feedback about security. Or the town is not safe today. Or, when you deal with highbrow kids, you need to be careful. They'll give us, reports. Oh, this happened, or this, that, in this area. This is the feedback we got. And we have meetings around such things. What to do, what not to do. Should we close school, So they report suspicious activities or potential threats. They also assist in emergency evacuation procedures. And please, every staff in your school, including the gatesmen, should be trained on child safety and safety. Okay? Child safety. Okay, child protection and safety, very, very important. Let's go on. Then the front desk officer. I'm going to tell you a very funny story. I went to train a school out of Lagos, and they had heard about me, they had read my books, and they were all eagerly looking forward to meeting me. I got in there, but the school owner had gone out, and I had to be with the front desk officer for a few minutes before the school owner told me she was on her way to the school. And there was this lovely lady at the reception, the front desk officer, beautifully dressed, looking elegant, nice hair, nice shoes, nice. Well, guess what? She had body odor. Horrible one. As I entered the reception, the stench that met me in that reception. And I said to myself, this is certainly not a place I would want to endure every day if I were to bring a child here. And you would not know how many parents have probably not enrolled their children in that school because of the body odor of the front desk officer. And I could not understand how a human resource manager and the school administrator actually did not notice that, as sensitive as it is. And you know, body odor is a very sensitive thing to talk about. It's very hard to tell somebody, have you brushed your teeth? Have you used a roller? You know, and you don't really know how to approach it. And then you say, have you bought roller this month? They still don't get it. And I've not finished. And she was so warm, she came to hug me. Trouble. And she came and hugged me. Oh, she's read my book, The Educator. She's been wanting to meet me. And she stayed with me, and I endured this smell. And I'm not talking about a light smell. It was heavy, and I couldn't. Later on, I didn't even know how to tell my client because I was brought in to train. I wasn't coming to consult on, I was training on a totally different thing. But over a drink after I was done, I had to chip it in, because there's only someone that loves you that will. And I said, have you, Mrs. blah blah blah, have you had a look at this lady very well? I said, no, she's so nice, she just finished service. I said, is that all you know about her? Are parents giving you feedback about her hygiene? She said, no, one or two. I said, well, if I were a parent, I would not bring my child here. Because that's where they keep the kids to pick them after school. It means that it is not only the parents who will endure the smell, my child will be enduring the smell as well. And every day, no, I don't think I want that. I will probably come back smelling of how that reception smells. And you're laughing now, but you know how many parents will just walk away. It is a sensitive issue, but it's worth laughing about, right? Okay, so the front desk officers are usually the first phase inside the school, up after the gate men. Okay, in other words, the second really, that way you interface with when entering the school premises. So they greet and direct people, show you where to go. Oh, okay, you're looking for someone here, let me get him or her. Or please sit down, did you come for admission or whatever. Some of them also act as the admissions officer, especially in small schools, okay? They have to have telephone skills because they have to answer calls from parents. When a child is not in school, that's the person that you're going to report to. Okay, instead of the teacher who is teaching in the class, you don't want to disrupt the classes. Can you hear me at the back? Oh, okay. All right, and then they also have basic administrative skills for photocopying, little basic things, record keeping and little things, okay? Data entry, record keeping, they handle inquiries and provide information. I always say that the admin is the information hub of any school. And the front desk officer must always be up to date about everything. That's not the person who should say, well, I'm not sure, I don't know when school is starting. They should always be up to date because calls can come in from people who encounter your website, who meet you on social media, who have been referred by other parents to your school. They must always be very familiar with your admission procedures, what curriculum you run, the kind of things you do in the school, your extracurricular activities, and what the school have got, history of the school. They should be on, they take parents on school tours. So they should be able to talk about the school convincingly. In other words, they do not only work as admin staff and security, they're also marketing staff. Have you seen that I've added a third department for them? So it's a very critical role. So telling someone that a front desk officer is not around, just get anybody in the cleaning department to go and sit. I've seen that done in some schools. They say, let somebody just sit there. Then when parents come, they say, how are you? Say, madam, I greet you. How are you? I don't know, make I ask my madam. That's already an impression. That's already an impression right there at the front desk. Remember, anything for your boy, was the first touch, and now they come again and see another mess. 2 touch points already gone. And people form impressions about you at the first touch point. They might ignore the gate man. Some people might. But when there's a second touch point and there's still a block, your list of things that could have impressed them. And you know, parents do not usually have a chance to interact with teachers. Are you aware of that? At the point of enrollment, a lot of times it is all of these other people. And so what we do in schools is to ensure that there's always a teacher, one or two teachers who can actually join in the school talk. Maybe they're not taking lessons at the moment, so that they can also contribute to the conversation when the front desk officer is going round. But ideally, the front desk officer should be equipped to be able to talk convincingly. It's like this doesn't allow movement, right? So I'm stuck here, no problem. I actually like moving about when I'm talking so that I can connect better. So it means that the front desk officer must always be equipped. What curriculum you run, what you do, the expectation, the school's vision and mission, the history, and what you have got. You know, basically everything. Testimonials from parents if they need evidence, you know, a whole lot of things. And they should be tidy and neat and courteous and professional. And there should not be another anything for your girl kind of people. Because if there's anything for your boy at the gate and anything for your girl here, then your school is done. Completely done. Okay? So they also distribute information. Let's go on. Some schools go ahead to have a school admissions officer, especially the big schools. Some schools have like 3 arms. There's a big LES, big primary, and another big secondary school. So there will be an admissions officer. But in a lot of schools, that role of front desk officer can be played by the front desk officer. But some schools do have an admissions officer, depending on how big. And this is the person who manages and oversees the process by which students apply, are evaluated and admitted to the school. And this person should be above board, because parents will come and say that they want a 9-year-old in JS2. And if this person is compromising, that is where there will be a problem. Are you getting me? A mentee of mine reached out to me from a school that I consult for. She said there's a problem. I said, well, they said these kids in JS2 know that there's an underage child there, and we have been boasting that we keep to our procedures. And when the child celebrated the birthday, they came and whispered to the administrator that boy is actually 9 years old. And she called me and said, I don't know what to do because we have policies, but the admissions officer compromised. And I said, well, you have to eat the humble pie and write to the parents and let them know exactly what transpired, and make sure you deal with the situation and deal with the officer involved. Okay? So this person has to be above board and should be able to keep to your policies and procedures and make sure that things are done properly. There should actually be a chart on his or her office. If a child is born this year, this is the class it should be. If a child, I used to have that even in my office as an administrator. Because your Nigerian parents want a child to start writing before he can say A. Before he says A, he says, my child can. He said, no, he's going to primary 1. Why are you hurrying? I like what Mrs. Adekobe does about bring back primary 6. I also don't steal the children's childhood. I allow children to be children. And this person is the one who will ensure that is done in your school. I will also advise the parents. I advise that the front desk officer should be able to tell the pros and cons of rushing kids through school and educate parents, apart from marketing your school. I should not be in a hurry to present. The school's bills and school fees, because that's all some of them. The ones you come, this is how much they pay in primary. You should be able to also talk convincingly about the school. Why should we choose you above others? And do a school tour that is very, very convincing to the parents. And be able to market what you have in a way that they choose you above other schools. So they ensure the entire admissions process is seamless and is done according to the school's policies and procedures. Let's go on. The administrative officer is involved in the day-to-day administration. That's the communication hub. Remember what I said? Record keeping, scheduling, office management, student services. Have you got your uniforms? After the admissions officer is done, someone takes over. Okay? The uniforms and other things. All those student services, they're handled. Requests maybe for transcript and a whole lot. They're the ones that will pass it to others. Incoming mails that pass to the front desk officer. This person minutes on them to send to the right people and all of that. They should also be trained for emergency preparedness. Next one. The marketing officers or social media managers. Not every school has a social media manager. And these are also people who should work in line with what goes on in the school. So that you don't start posting off points on social media and embarrassing your school. Okay? And they should know about child rights and child safety and not go exposing children's faces on social media without permission, express permission from the parents. So that the child attends your school does not mean that the parents are in support of their child being shown all over social media. And please always get the legal consent of parents before you do that. So you need to teach your social media people this. Are you getting me? So for security reasons, some parents might not want their children's faces on social media. They don't want people to know where their kids go to school. I worked in a school that was predominantly made of politicians' children. And believe me, security is a big issue. If you're an administrator in such a school, you have to protect them as much as you can. And not just because of that, any child at home. Okay? So these people create content, they're involved with your brand representation, engaging with people who meet you online. There are some schools that someone can make inquiries, they will be there for 1 month. The same way you attend to people at the front desk. The social media managers makes that difference. I know you have commonly asked questions, frequently asked questions on your website, and parents can easily read them. But at times they want to interact with a real person. And knowing that there's someone responding to the messages in person makes a whole lot of difference. They also watch out for trends. Are schools dancing now to attract attention? Are they going on TikTok? Is your social media manager that advise that we're doing old school? Everybody's moving to LinkedIn now, we have to move. Or everybody's dancing on TikTok in their schools. We need to follow and dance so that because we get attention, whatever, okay? They're also involved in campaign management, creating adverts online for your school and all of that. And they should be very schooled in digital etiquette and safety. Okay? All right, next one. The janitorial staff. Remember we said we should not call them cleaners. Remember? What do we call them? Just find a funky, nice name for them and give me feedback later. You just see how they will smile. But when you say, God, the cleaners, you see how they will clean. When you call them, we would like to have a meeting with the janitorial staff after this. They will gladly stay back. You don't need to chase anybody. Okay? And you see them come with a bit more flair for what they do. They want to please you. Just psych them. I must tell you that this set of people suffer from low self-esteem. So if you're a smart school administrator, anything you can do to make them feel good, just do it. On my last job, I remember an event we had. I think it was the graduation ceremony. And I said, you know what, I need them to be served first before us. And they felt very good. It was also a very touching incident. I think they had never been in the school yearbook before I came. And I couldn't understand, really. So I called them that I was not only going to put them, I was going to be in the picture with them. And they could hold me and we do all the stars together. And I didn't know how much it meant to them. One of them came to my office with a bottle of groundnuts. I knelt down and said, "Thank you, Miss Nancy." I said, "What is it?" She said, this is the first time we are appearing in the... I had the tears almost ran down my eyes. And I said, "Do you know how important you are?" Do you know how important you are in the school? If you come in here and decide not to clean the toilets, we are doomed. If you decide not to clean for 1 week, we are all gone. there's trouble. So please measure value to your position because I respect you a lot. And you know, when I was moving to my new apartment as the administrator, they all came, it's not you want to come and clean your apartment. I said, that's not your job. You work in the school. You know, I call them the respect. Some of you call them go to market. I stop people from even sending them on errands. Go and buy food. If you need to eat, go to the cafeteria. They are not errand people. They have their job description in the school just as much as everyone. And we need to protect their dignity. Okay? So please fight for your janitorial staff. Okay? And don't demean them or call them names. And you know, some of them, their idea of cleanliness is very different from your own idea. Let me share there was once I had to get in the toilet, remove my suit. I came in, removed my blazer, and got the brush, got into the toilet and showed them how I wanted. And they could not understand how I'd be a school. If you had seen my office then, everything imported from Dubai, come on, I was a tuition administrator. I came out from the high horse, got into the toilet, and I told one of them, I said, Jenny, you know what? I have problems with the way you clean, and I've been trying to correct you. I was not a direct supervisor. The admin officer couldn't get it right, so I had to step in. And I said, let me show you how to clean the toilet. You see this brush? The reason it's carved is so that it can get to the crevices. And I showed them I cleaned, and now I know put the harpic, did everything, and they saw the difference. And that became the standard how they should clean. Will I go and be cleaning every day? No. But the time comes when you need to teach them. And you cannot do everything in theory. All the English you are speaking, some of them don't understand. They tell me, oh God. Do you understand? So you have to speak, if they're in their meeting, if you need to speak pidgin, and be hailing them, our people, now we now, today we go clean or say we go clean. You have to mobilize them more. Anything that measures to their esteem and you can connect with them, please do it. If they're eating pop-up and once in a while you need to check into their room and say, how is this? You also buy and sit there and share. They will tell you things going on that you don't even know. In the school, they became my friends. And when I was leaving, a few of them were very sad. They came to me and said I should do. I said, no, the next person will do the same things I did because we've changed a few things. Are you getting me? So please connect with them. Their job description should not be big English. Clean classroom. Just bring it to their level. And do a checklist. If you need to meet with them to carry their phones and put reminders when they should get to the toilet, please do it. So that as the phone rings, they know, they understand such things, but they don't know how to program the phone. They just know to take selfie and do all that. So let them know that their phone has far more use than what they have been using. Organize a meeting where you let them know, this is the checklist, this is how many times you need to go to the toilet. They will not remember, but if the phone is reminding them and ringing, there's a reminder, beep, 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 they know, okay, they get up. Are you getting me? So get practical with them. Don't speak big grammar. You see, in this school, our vision is to take the whole of all the students. They don't break the vision to their level. You don't say for this school, we they do everything proper. So that plenty became come, then we pay you big money. I mean, you know what big money is everyone. I mean, you do it like a political campaign. You have to be very political with those people. Hello? Do you understand? So that plenty children will come to school, plenty picking come, we pay you big. I mean, no one. Yeah. Now we they fight to make people plenty. You understand? If we give you soap, I mean, no carry go home, no need to wash your pikin napkin for house. Now to clean this place. If this place dirty, people don't will come. You understand? You understand? So you have to get to their level. You just have to. Okay, so they get involved with, and then the maintenance staff. These are the people that come to check your AC. How often should it be serviced? Every 3 months. The painting is wearing off. Before school starts, you have a checklist of things to do, which include repainting and touching up. The staircase is broken. The rail has a problem. The maintenance people. Okay, so these janitorial and maintenance people, they also include the gardeners. If the gardeners leave all the flowers bushy and untidy and the leaves that have fallen all over the place, there's a mess. Even if inside the classrooms are clean and the gardening is done poorly, it will show. So everybody is important and you need to connect with them at their level. The maintenance people might even be, for big schools, you might even have a maintenance engineer. But for some, the admin officer doubles as a maintenance manager. The important thing is to have procedures, policies and procedures. Do you have a form people fill where, you know, if there's a problem in classroom A, maybe year 2 green, the AC is not functioning, is there a place they can fill and it gets attention, you know, immediately? Because guess what, if all the ACs break down, all the fans are not working, louvers are breaking, everything is just upside down, that's still not a conducive environment for teaching and learning, so it impacts on what the teachers do in the classroom. Are we communicating? Are we tired at the back? Can you hear me? Am I communicating? Okay. So from general cleaning and maintenance to more specialized tasks like handling electrical and plumbing issues and ensuring the school is safe. Next, the school counselors and psychologists. I only know a few schools in Nigeria that have a psychologist. And I think they had to get that after they had crisis, maybe mental health issues with the kids. But at least a lot of schools have guardians counselors. But where I have a problem is that a lot of guardians counselors are loaded with classroom work. And so they hardly have the time, and they now think that their only function is to find admission for children traveling abroad. How many of you or to choose subjects, science students and art students, and that's all. Please harness everything about the guardians counselors, because a lot of times they are so dormant in our schools. That is why they now push them to the classroom. They'll say, my lessons are too many in a day, how will I have time to counsel kids and do a lot? A lot of behavioral management issues and all that can be handled, because they'll go into the root of it, as against the teacher that just wants to have a little disciplinary measure and move on. The guidance counselor will get to the root of why that child is behaving that way and connect with the home. And probably there's a divorce going on between the parents and it's affecting the child. That is the job of the guidance counselor, to get to the root. Are you getting me? And connect with all the emotional issues that are affecting the children in the school. These days we have a lot of mental health issues. Social media and technology, they have come with a whole lot. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And a lot of kids are here comparing themselves to kids in other countries and feeling all left out. A child can feel depressed because of what a child in the US is doing. You know, when we were young, we didn't have social media, right? The problems we grappled with were far less than what we have now. Am I communicating? So they help with college applications and advice. They address a wide range of issues, from learning difficulties to emotional challenges to career planning. Okay, a whole lot. So they provide emotional support to students, academic support too. Next slide. The school accountant or the boss are the money people. Please never pray to have a dishonest accountant or a bursar. Okay? But these people are very important, and their role is fundamental in managing and overseeing the financial operations of the school. They're involved in budget management, financial reporting and analysis, compliance and auditing, payroll and funds oversight, strategic financial planning. A lot of school owners hide the finances from even the accountants. You know, sometimes there's some perspectives that these people can bring to your job that might shock you. They are the ones that will tell you, madam, I don't think you should buy new decks for all the teachers. The ones we have, look at the cost of renovating them versus the cost of buying. But you know, sometimes some schools take decisions without involving these people. Please let them make their input in the finances, but keep an eye, make sure there's a system of control so that they don't take over your finances, but make sure that they make an input, they can advise. They should be able to project, this is how many students have left the school, this is how much we've lost from these withdrawals. They are the ones that will send the alarm to you, financial alarm. there's a problem, or this person you're employing cannot pay her 150,000. I think we should reduce it to 120. Because our financial budget for the year, you should have your accountant be able to make a presentation to you as a school owner and challenge you. But you know, some school owners will hide, because even Akara, they buy from that school account. They buy their designer clothes from the school account. And so they don't want the accountant to know what goes on behind the scene. But these are the people that, if a professional accountant will put sanity in your system financially and will curtail spending. You know, they are very thrifty people. Titan, you know, yeah. So they will not allow you spending indiscriminately. They will advise you on projects, how to save costs. They will work with the team to budget. On my last job, I used to have the head of elementary, head of preschool, head of NES, the second, the principal. They will prepare the budgets for each of the arms. Then they will meet with me and the accountant to defend the budget for each one. So me, the administrator, I will now approve at that level before I take it with the accountant to the board meeting. Can you see the process? But you know, some schools owners will be writing their budget as if it's a shopping list for making a fan soup or a foreign roll. Listen, you have to move beyond that and get your accountant involved. Are you getting me? Let everybody take, if you have a head of any years, let them be involved at their level. When they know about this, they will stop making requests for increase in salaries. Because the reason they think there's so much money is because they don't even have privy. And so you too, when they give you privy to what's going on, don't run your mouth like a tap and be moving on. That is why people protect their finances. Because of professionalism. Are you getting me? When we opened up how much the early years was making, and I told them, so if you advise me now, do you think I will tell the board to increase your own? Because you are not making anything. They are everybody's mouth. You shut up. I said I should even decrease, I should start doing a salary cut for all of you. And they said no, so the mouth shut up, right? They will all shut up. But you see, what they do is everybody in the school will just carry a calculator and be calculating the number of students. As if they don't pay taxes, they don't pay salaries, they don't do maintenance. If you know what it takes to run a school, you'll actually be looking for a way to look for money for your school, for your employer. Those of us who have been in core administration know how tough. Are you getting me? Your balance is not balancing. As you are here now, you can see what has happened with the fuel. So many issues, and you have to have a team where you can brainstorm around these issues and what to do next. Are you getting me? So hiding everything from the accountant will not help you. Unless it's a horrible person. But if it's a professional accountant you have, please allow them be involved in the decision making. Okay? There was a time my accountant told me, Ms. Nancy, I think there's a cheaper way we can do this. I said, anything that will cut costs for me, I will open my ears very wide. And so long it's not bringing the standard down, but it can reduce costs, I will listen. Because it's even a plus for an administrator to bring cost-saving measures. But you can do it only when the accountant is involved. Are you getting me? They're the ones that will tell you the repercussion, tell you the budget. If things come for procurement, they'll tell you this is not on our budget. Sorry, we'll wait till next year. Because some school owners buy on impulse. You go to the UK, you just see fancy toys. Hey, I like this for my school. I will buy. One day you buy till your school closes. And the people you're trying to buy and please will carry their kids to another school. It is the accountant that will bring the business side of the deal in your face and tell you, look, all this buy. You will not like some of the things they will tell you. Are you getting me? All this buy, this is where it's landing also, madam. No money for salaries next month. You know, my village people have come. Your village people didn't come. You didn't involve the accountant. Next one. The storekeeper. Recently I wrote a book titled The School Storekeeper's Companion. You know, because I found out that a lot of schools ignore this part. But if you know how much schools lose every year from the store, I have taken over a school as a school administrator in a school where I had to clear the store. If you know how many things were expired, I asked my admin officer to get me the cost Sorry, I have sweat entering my eyes. I'm sweating a lot. So I got the admin officer to actually do a cost of the things. We had hand wash, hand sanitizer that had expired. And they were just like the insecticide in cartons, almost expiring. Paper threshers, or shredders, this paper shredding machine. What are they doing? Why do you have so many? Sometimes you need to clear the store and sell some things off to raise money for your school. Some people don't even have an inventory of the things in their stores. Are you aware some schools don't even have? Beginning of the year, we need this carton of pens. We need this, you just be buying. There's no reporting system. Every school, the storekeeper must be able to give accounts. And there must be a direct supervisor over the storekeeper. That is one place in a school you can lose money without even knowing what is going on. And never let the storekeeper be the one who makes requests, orders for the products, receives them, dispenses. They might just be going home with some things and nobody's checking. Hello? I don't want to mention figures, but if I tell you how much I've saved in a school store by being the administrator, you'll be shocked. Just by putting systems and processes in place. Some things might be going home. Everybody uses tissue paper in the school. They need it at home. Some might be going in someone's handbag home. Hello? And these are not nice things to talk about, but they are happening in schools. Are you communicating? Some Bibles, they need them for their children. They will pack 5, 6, 7. But if there's there's a system for reporting where there's an inventory and then there's a report every month. If you can do it weekly, fine, that's too cumbersome. But if you can make it every month, the store must be able to produce a detailed report. And the inventory should be such that you are, in fact, it's better to even use maybe like Google, what do they call them? Sorry, spreadsheets. So that you also have, you're privy to what is going on. Let the supervisor have access to it. Are you getting me? A lot of you should be able to question, why do we have 7 cartons of insecticide? How is it perfume that we're spraying on the children every day? You don't know where some are going. They might have a shop somewhere and some things are going there. Maybe a few are just missing. And you'll just be there wondering, we're not making gain. We have been here for 5 years. Is this how other people are doing their school? That is not how they are doing home. You need to know what to do. And the store is a touch point you must pay attention to. Have a job description for the storekeeper. Ensure that he understands his job. Ensure there's a direct supervisor. Ensure there are KPIs, key performance indicators, and that you actually have a performance management in system to check what it does. Okay, so you should have parameters for the evaluation. There are some storekeepers that don't even know who their supervisor is. They just work there and don't do anything. They will put music, they'll be dancing in the store, doing all on their own. But we're watching movies. You don't even know what's going on. Some will stay there and be trading forex in your school. Meanwhile, you can use that time. Maybe you can get him another thing to do alongside. You have to know how to maximize that time, because it's not every minute that people go to the store. And if your school is not big enough, the storekeeper's role can be moved to the admin officer's role, just to save cost. So all of these positions I'm mentioning, I don't mean that you must have all the positions. There are some that can be played by, that can actually be paired for. In fact, someone can play 3 roles in a young school and do it well if you don't have too many students. But where you have big schools, then there's a need to expand the roles, because now more responsibilities, more kids to take care of, and more money to pay staff. So they're involved in inventory management, distribution of materials. Imagine if the storekeeper does not produce an inventory and you do not know you've run out of sugar paper, for example, and you need to decorate. This is beginning of school year. How does it impact? Poor classroom decoration. Where did it come from? So each of these roles impacts on one another and impacts on the teaching. So you must be able to make them understand how their roles affect the entire system. Because what happens is everybody works in silos. You work as a storekeeper, I'm the storekeeper. You're not just a storekeeper. When you see that your role is actually pivotal to the rest of the school, getting their distribution, getting resources, and that if you do not perform, it's going to affect the teacher. As I speak to you, some classrooms will not be decorated because the storekeeper either submitted the requisition late or went to get cheap things in the market, went behind to pay for inferior materials and pocket the remaining, and so the teachers rejected the materials. You must have a system in place, have a procurement system. And I'll advise you get that book. It's an e-book for now. How does it feel when there's no internet in a school? I'm sure you know almost everything in school now is internet-based. You submit your lesson plans digitally, electronically, everything. What if you say, I forgot the date for renewal of the internet subscription? Is it only him is affecting? For every role, you have to teach everybody how their inefficiency affects the entire school. Because your role is affecting a whole community. If the whole school does not have internet, then there's a problem. Just because of the negligence of one person, then there's a problem. So everybody in the school system contributes to a whole. It's not enough to understand your job description and work in silos. You have to think the big picture and how it coordinates with the rest of the team and how your inefficiency impacts on poor enrollment. How your inefficiency can affect teachers, which will lead to complaints from parents, which will lead to withdrawals. But these are the people who work behind the scene that we neglect every day. A social media manager can go and make a comment online and speak poor English that will scatter your school. And you know, things that are online are so hard to retrieve. Very difficult, right? So you need to be careful. Okay, so the technician and IT staff, they manage the school's technology infrastructure, including computers, projectors, and internet connections. Their work supports digital learning initiatives. And now, post-COVID, you know, most schools have a learning management system. These are the people that manage them. So they must know their audience. Because today, if we say there's another outbreak of COVID, they are the ones that we depend on to make sure classes go on. So no matter how well the teachers can teach, then they will not be able to teach if these people do not do their job. Can you see how it impacts the whole system? And then they'll say the school is inefficient, they don't have a good learning management system. Where would they go to a school that has a good learning management system? So stop focusing on only the teachers. The people that work behind the scene can make or mar your school. And you must not just tell them their job descriptions, you must have parameters for measuring their effectiveness, for their performance. Okay, let's go on now. The food service workers, the chefs. Imagine that today the boarders find flies in their soup. Tomorrow they find the leg of a cockroach. One day they will find a whole rat as meat in their pot of soup. But by then, I'm sorry, half of your population would have gone to a school that is not serving them cockroach in their soup and flies. And by the way, that's not a joke, because I've actually had to lay off a caterer where they found funny items in the garage in the school. They reported once, I had a meeting, another one. We had to revoke the contract. Madam, go please. Before you chase all my children, we are working here. So even food can be a reason people are not coming to your boarding house. It's a very sensitive issue. If a child comes over, you know how the posh kids from posh homes come, all choppy, even to wheel their boxes to the school with their big legs, and then before they go, they are so scrawny. The mother will come, that boy, is this my child? What happened? The mommy just said he was watering across soup every day, or beans like it's meant for prisoners. These are the people. You need to keep an eye on them. Make sure they are trained. Make sure they understand dining etiquette and personal grooming. This is not the place where their armpits should be smelling funny when they are very funky, when they are serving food. They should cover their hair. They should actually take the food handler's test. I insist on that in every school where I'm an administrator. You must take the food handler's test. Especially where you serve salad once in a while or things, you know. And you know, the food poisoning can come from these people and mess up your school. And like I said, you can find a fly today, tomorrow it's one thing, you know, you never know. So teach them what it means to work in a school system, because you may have picked some of them from a canteen where they were working and they were doing fine, but to be employees in a structured place is something they need to learn. It's not just about cooking, it's about cooking now and seeing themselves as part of a community. If they do not understand timeliness in serving food based on the schedule in the boarding house, there will be a problem. It impacts on other activities. So if you have to let children come out, your food is now ready, they will have to leave the classroom to go and eat when they should have eaten before going to class. If that keeps happening, these children will tell their parents. And if the food is poor, every day is salt, too much pepper, they will tell their parents. If it's only ice fish bowl that they serve them, and meanwhile they are stealing the food and going to their homes, the children will talk. So people might be leaving your boarding house because of this touch point. It could also be the school lunch. Maybe you don't have a boarding house. Okay? Very important how they serve. They should be able to clean plates very well. The plates used the previous day should not come with oil and stains the next day. Children talk a lot. And if they are happy with your services, you know children like food a lot. If they are happy with your services, they will tell everyone. I worked in a school in Abuja once as an administrator, and I loved the food in the school. Even me as the administrator, I loved the food. The kids were very happy, well-fed, happy children. It's a point to note, because parents are so happy these days, they are looking for a way to dump their children. In fact, the kids used to have breakfast in school. They will serve them like breakfast. Sometimes pancakes and milk, and then we'll have lunch, and then, after that they have a little dinner before they go. So how would they not be happy? And then, of course, we're charging them, and sometimes we call them very exotic names. So even if you're serving them akara, you can coin a name. And with ChatGPT now, you can tell them, please, I'm making this, find a funky name for it. They'll just give it one name. So the kids, you don't say we are serving you akara. You just find one name for it. Not bean cake. You just find one very funky name. Some bean something, and the kids will come and say, well, this looks like So find a way to make it work in the and try to use things that are in season. They're usually cheaper. Okay? So, and make it affordable but very rich and nice. And make sure the kids enjoy it, especially if you have a boarding house. It's a big reason for parents to withdraw kids from the school. And they will not tell you, that's the sad part. Once children go home and all their bones are sticking out now, the parents will say no. I used to come back from boarding house looking very fresh and happy because we were well fed those days in federal schools. How many of us went to federal government colleges those days? I don't know what they are now, but those days, we enjoyed Nigeria those days. I don't know what it's like now. We chop well, we chop very well. Okay, so let's go on. The librarians. Have you ever thought how important librarians are? Do you know that the librarian should not work separate from the rest of the school? He should also see himself as part of the whole. Do you know that there are some children that don't like physics? Once their physics teacher comes, they run to the library. What if the librarian has the timetable and can chase the child back? Are you getting me? You must always see yourself as part of the whole. Never work in silos, in isolation. No. The librarian should be able to make recommendations for resources, for books, and also keep an eye on the children. Because some of them will run to the library when they don't like a teacher. And they'll pretend that they have a free period. They don't have any free period. They are not going to read. So even the librarian should understand the children's psychology and be able to ask, what do you have now? And check the timetable. But a lot of times administrators leave these people away out of everything and planning. All of them have their part to contribute to the whole. Because that can be a place where students are going to hide every time. Once the further maths teacher comes, they will run them. When the physics teacher comes, they have not done the assignments, they will run there and say they have a free period. So nobody in the school should work in silos. They must be connected with everything that happens with the rest of the school because they're all there for the children. So you can't be working in silos and children are running there to come and mess up another teacher in the class. Next one. The medical staff. I've seen schools that have a doctor on call right in the school because it's a big school and it's purely boarding. I've also, that's not the norm because it's expensive to keep a doctor on the payroll, but you should have nurses. And if it's a boarding house, you must have living nurses, at least one. And the nurse is not a doctor. Hello? Please do not recommend drugs for any child if you're a nurse. They should know their role is basically to observe the children and make a referral either to a hospital or at least maybe dispense drugs that have already been prescribed. Are we getting me? I worked in a school once that we had a child of 10 who was diabetic. When I took over, the nurse told me she has been injecting the child. No records, nothing. I had to call it the very day because this is one of the areas I look out for once I take over as an administrator. We must get it right. All the children must have their health records as they are resuming, especially those in the boarding house. Do we have sick class? Do they have any disability? Do they have issues with their eyes? Have they had surgeries before? What's their medical history? Please do not give health forms to parents to fill. Let it be done by a certified doctor in a hospital. Because the parents will fill anything there just to get their child off the house. Maybe they've been so naughty and they just want a place to dump the child. Do not let parents fill the forms by themselves. Let it be done by the child's doctor. So the medical form that is in the child's form at the beginning of the school year or at the point of admission should be done from a hospital. And have a checklist of the kind of tests they should run before they bring their child. If a child dies in your boarding house, I'm sure you know the scandal involved. So in a bid to get children and just be condoning, one day you get into trouble and all of it will blow to the whole public. Are you getting me? Do your due diligence to screen children. If they are single sellers, what is the arrangement? Is there a nearby hospital where they can be rushed for emergencies? Are you getting me? So make sure that the nurse understands his or her job description, knows what to do, and is also trained on child protection and safeguarding, apart from the medicals. The nurse should also be able to train the rest of the school on first aid. Basic things that they need, okay? All right, so please, the nurse is not a doctor. And when there are issues like maybe pandemics or outbreaks of anything, they are the ones that will actually educate the school. Like during the COVID, they played a key role in being at the gate and taking the temperature of kids every morning before letting them in. Okay? They should also be able to give presentations regularly on health habits, helping the children cultivate health habits. And you could also have things like sanitary pads in the nurses' bay. You know, some girls who just start their period in school on the first day and they don't know what to do. Because mothers are so busy these days, they don't even talk to kids. They should be able to walk in there and be able to confide in the nurse that, you know, that stuff is here. And they'll be able to help them out, okay? So they should be able to handle medical emergencies and ensure a healthy and safe environment. And you must have records of everybody who attends the sick bay and what they came for. You know, some schools that have been in the news, it's just poor record keeping that got them there. Have policies, have procedures. What's the procedure for evacuating kids to the school? When do you inform parents of their children's illness? Don't cover up. If scorpion bites a child in your school, don't pretend. Please learn to say the truth to parents at the right time, not when it's late. We've had too many deaths in school because of, you know, poor training of the medical team. And schools trying to cover up. Get it right from the beginning. Get it right. You must have a designated hospital where you take the kids to. The sick bay is not a hospital. It is just for observing the kids. And please, the nurse should also not work in silos because the children also pretend, just like they go and hide in the library. They also run there to hide. They also go to hide in the sick bay. When they have not done their father math homework, they run there to lie down. Very difficult setup, very rugged. And they can cheat. You have to monitor how they use fuel. You have to have a method. Maybe you'll be paying the fuel people directly. You know, too many problems. Honestly, this set of people gave me headache. You know, when you hear that a school is in the news, don't be too quick to laugh or say, God forbid, it can't be me. Let me tell you an experience I had. I mean, if you know me, I'm a very procedural person. I love policies. I love to clean the system, make sure things move. But I used to have a special ringtone for the boarding house. Special ringtone, just in case of anything. And then this day, around midnight, the phone rings, and I said there's trouble if this phone rings. Before I knew it, guess what? The driver, there was a place we designated for keeping keys. In case of an emergency, we had all that planned. The driver took the key to the car and went out. And left his phone. They were calling him, his phone was ringing in the boarding house. And he was the one on duty. And we had a case. I drove from my house like a mad woman in the middle of, those are the kind of risk administrators take. So if you hear that a school, and if I had not done that, who knows, my school may have been in the news. So administrators that say my job ends at 5, I have news for you. It does not end at 5, no. You have a thankless job that is 24 hours. Once you are, please remember to add the word thankless. Hello? So that you don't feel angry. At that point, do you think it was convenient for me to leave the house? Who are you going to wake up by midnight? I had to take the risk. I got in my car and sped to the school to save a child's life at midnight. Why did I do that? Because there was a special ringtone for the boarding house on my phone. And so I got in, if I could, I had to deal with driver the next day, but this was about a child's life. A minister's child. I will now be speaking grammar. You see, I was in my house when it happened. I would rather not speak grammar. I would rather take the risk and drive this night. I got there, we took the child to hospital. The case was settled. The next day, I now faced the driver. But you see, as little a thing as that, it's not little, because that has landed some schools in trouble. And so, what if I was not a meticulous administrator? What if my phone rang and I said, all these cousins are their problems? But I had a ringtone, that made the difference. Are you getting me? And that ringtone, I put it there because you never know when something can come up. Because here was I shouldn't be the one, I had a driver. We gave him a room there, we fed him. He had a room just outside the boarding house. And they used to take turns. This one would sleep over 2 weeks, another one. So I already put that arrangement. And my mind was supposed to be at rest. But some people will not be ethical. And they can mess you up at the last minute. So the administrators you have seen whose schools are in the news, don't be too fast to say they don't know what they are doing. Some may have put things in place. But you need to go the extra mile even as the administrator. Are you getting me? So these people, please ensure they understand their job description. Teach them about child safety. The same way you need to cite the ego of the janitorial staff. Please develop a relationship with them. Call them the school pilot. Make uniforms for them, whatever. But always make sure there's someone supervising the children with them. Never ever leave children with school drivers. Please. No matter how much you're trying to save costs, don't try it. They can mess you up. These people. Some school administrators have grown grey hair from running school buses. Even me, I grew grey hair as an administrator, as disciplined and as polished, as procedural and as policy loving as I am. This set of people gave me headache. I can tell you for free. Running a school bus is a school on its own. It's an entire school. And the anointing is that it doesn't even bring much profit to a school. It's just to keep the children. And the headache they give is more than the rest of the school put together. And then the safety of the children, you're wondering every day, oh God, what is going on? Any call you get, please also have a special ringtone for these people on their phone. Very important. So they run errands, and they come with their attitude. So a lot of training will help. Okay, a lot of training will help. Okay, we need to be rounding up very soon. So train them. Then the caregivers, the nannies, the class assistants, they basically provide care to children and support the teachers. They take care in after-school care. You know those parents that will be watching Nigerian movies and forget their children in the school. It happened in the school, I'm not exaggerating. They asked the parent, why did you come by 5:30 to pick your child? She said, oh, I was so engrossed in the movie I was watching. Honestly, as a school administrator, I had to restrain myself. Because I had to be calming down. I had to be calming down. You know, so they take care of kids. And let me tell you what you can do. You can actually stagger their resumption time. Because these people stay after school a lot of time to take care of the kids, to provide them. So they don't need to resume the same time. All of them don't need to resume at the same time as others. Because keeping them till 6 every day, some schools as late as 6. Because some parents will just not come to school to take their children. And because you do not have strict policies and you're not penalizing them for dumping their kids on you, they get away with it, and the brunt of the work falls on these people. Are you getting me? So you might want them to resume later than others, so that if they are stretched beyond that helps, okay? And then penalize parents for dropping their kids late, and the money can be split between you and them. That will make them happy, okay? All right, let's go. The boarding house staff. These people are parents, but keep an eye on them. From stealing children's provisions, to bullying, to lesbianism, homosexuality, plenty things are happening. Plenty. Untold things. Things that are too shameful to mention in public are happening in boarding houses. So please, let us be very watchful. I have a template for how they should report. You know, when you tell boarding house staff to report, we praise the Lord, everything was fine. Please don't accent others. I have a template of all the things I need from boarding house weekly, and you must fill them. So that puts them on the spot. In addition, there must be performance parameters for evaluating if they are performing. Because just chasing children, go to prep, every day go to prep, it's not enough to be in boarding house. You must be trained. They must understand their job description. They must understand how it impacts on the rest of the school. If they bully children and the children are withdrawn, there's a financial loss. So every support staff must know how their roles impact on the rest of the school. Okay, let's go on. So these are challenges normally that support staff face: insufficient resources, limited training. Please invest in their training. It doesn't have to be expensive, even in-house. The administrator can invest, train cleaners, train them, train storekeepers, train everybody. Research on them. If they are simple, cheap courses you can send them to attend, don't think it's a loss. Don't invest in only teachers. Because these people can, if they mess up and children are withdrawn, the teachers are investing in will not see children to teach. No matter how professional, how the curriculum is dripping even from their sweat, they will not see children to teach. These are the people that will mess it up. So, too much workload, lack of recognition. You know, some schools have best teacher of the year. They don't have best support staff. Are you aware of that? Have you ever done a best support staff recognition? Some schools do not. So they have teachers day, they have everything. You know, there's also admin day. You are not aware. Please go and research. There's admin day. Just like you have teachers day. Please find out. Student challenges, role ambiguity. If you see two people in admin fighting over role, you know that you have not defined their job descriptions properly. Then they start fighting and having a tussle over who is who. Sometimes front desk officer and admission officer, it happens a lot. Or the registrar and the admin officer. Student challenges, safety concerns, emotional stress, salary issues. You know, there's a huge discrepancy between the salaries for the teaching staff and the admin staff. Are we aware? Right? Look, everybody's tired now. Are we tired? Are we getting value? Yes. Okay. So let's ask ourselves, what if everyone in the school knew and understood their role and how this impacts on the entire school system? That is the perspective I want everybody, every support staff. So the person cleaning is not just cleaning in a corner. You're not just janitorial staff in the classroom. If that classroom is dirty and stinky and smelly, the children will tell the parents. Parents will say no hygiene in the school. And you know, the toilets are one place that parents come to inspect during school term, when they come for inquiries for admission. So who is responsible for the toilets? It means they're also involved with the admission process. Have you been to schools where before they take a parent round, they will be signaling someone? You know, parents know all these things. It's not only your school they are visiting. When parents are shopping for school, they go to at least 4. So if you think you are the only one, the reason you'll be chosen is that your customer service exceeds the others. You might be doing the same curriculum, stealing and poaching the same teachers, because that's what happens. This school will steal today, another one will steal. All of you are just circulating the same set of teachers, teaching the same geography, physics, chemistry, the same thing. But what if your own toilet is stinky? That's poor customer service. So 1 point off for another school to be rated above you. So when parents come to your school, don't think it's only your school they are visiting. A parent that is shopping for a school visits at least 4 schools. When you remember that, you will give it your best shot to make the first great impression. Are you getting me? And not be in a hurry to bring your fee schedule and be showing them, shoving in their face. Okay, so what is my advice to you? Pay enough attention during recruitment. Like that lady I talked about, the smelly body. How can a human resource manager miss that, or the school administrator? So pay attention during recruitment. Get the right people that you can afford. Okay, supervise enough. Next one. Supervise enough and communicate effectively. Communication is one thing that holds a team together. If something is going on with the teaching staff and the admin doesn't know, trouble. The admin is the information hub of the school. And communication should go from there to parents, to everybody. If you see parents dropping their children on a public holiday when there is no school, it's because they didn't get information. That's an administrative issue. And communication is at the core of it, okay? There should be effective supervision. I talked about the storekeepers who are never supervised. And who will be pilfering your items every day and you don't even know. Until one day you calculate what they have stolen in 1 year, you'll be shocked. If you put a financial value to it, you know, then you must have parameters for evaluating every staff. You must have clear-cut parameters. Some people don't evaluate. I teach on performance management a lot, and I tell people they should know the parameters from the beginning of the school year. It's not at the end of the school year, you know, as if you're just catching them doing wrong, I evaluate you and sack you. No. It's a very thorough system that runs an entire school year. Invest in their professional development and encourage teamwork. Next one.
TOSSE.